How important would you say mental health is to our community?
I've been in the mental health field for about 7 years now. Hands in. Like elbows deep. Okay. Deep. Yeah. And it's imperative. You know what I'm saying? Like, from not even, because I feel like a lot of people, when they think about mental health, the only thing they're thinking about is therapy. They're thinking about going into a room. They think about sitting with somebody. But when I'm talking about mental health, I'm talking about homeless people on the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been working with people in the homeless community for years. People who have been living in poverty for years. And knowing what oppression and like the impacts of oppression does on the community and the mind, and then the cycle that your community is now in, and what you're so far removed from it. It's crazy to see. It's crazy to know that people really don't give a fuck, you know. Yeah, it's a lot of our people that need help. Mental health. I've seen people lose their minds, you know, because they didn't have the language, because they didn't have the connection to the resources, because they kept getting turned away, you know. I think that on some levels as a therapist, I like shouldn't be saying this, but like I'm gonna say it.
I mean, it's honest hour. It's because you have the work and the experience.
Well, I was gonna say that therapy should be free. As a therapist, I won't get paid, but I believe that everybody should have access to it. And therapy is gonna look different for people. I think that I want therapy to change. Like,
what do you mean when you say that?
You know, there's a lot of morals, ethics, and codes and things when it comes to therapy and what you're able to do and what you're not, right? Which why a lot of people do life coaching, because there's a lot more freedom in their parameters. But I mean, the dynamic of it, for somebody who never ever got a hug from their mother, right? Could be walking around and carrying a lot of fucking anger, and all they really wanted is just like a hug.
Just one from
I can't hug you right from the right person. I can't hug you. I'm a therapist. My man Juice, he be handing out hugs for free at it, get home safe events.
Yeah. But you're not a therapist.
You're not a therapist.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, stuff like that, like being able to really bring, I think, people's reality into practice, and what it is that they need outside of just sitting across from someone, and receiving a little guidance and giving some tools, because sometimes it goes deeper than that. And I was able to experience that by doing crisis stabilization and intensive in-home and mental health skill building and working with autistic clients in their homes. Like, I've been really able to see the brunt of it, what the parents are going through at home, being able to be in the home with them, be able to help them get the tools and, to create the systems in the home that they need to be able to create a safe environment for their children. And when you go behind that desk, it's a whole lot different because you're far removed from the client. It's just when you come in for that session and you go home, and I gotta let you go home too. And and it is being on the ground. You can get burnt out. Yeah. It's a lot. It's heavy. Organizations don't take care of their employees the way that they should. I feel like I just went somewhere else. You guys were going
No. I was going to say this actually opens up the door for us to talk about the work that you've done within the 7 years. Like, describe those jobs and the work that you did.
Okay. So like I said, I started with intensive in-home. And with intensive in-home, you're working with adolescents. Yeah. You are providing them with, life skills, helping them with like coping tools for whatever it is that they're going through. I did a lot of art therapy with my kids, a lot of music therapy, introduced them to a lot of different things. Like, yo, if you're from Richmond, I had a kid that went to like one of the city schools, and I took him to Carey Street for the first time. You would have thought
about Carey Street.
Carey Street is like, where all the bars and the artsy stuff is going on. You know what I'm saying? Where the other side be at. Yeah. And you would have thought I brought him to Disney World. You would have thought I brought him to Disney World, and he didn't even live not even 15 minutes away from where that place was at. Yeah. So I wanted to expose my kids to things that they wouldn't on a regular, taking them to museums and different dining experiences. And since I've been home, I had a lot of different clients, and they all had their own story. Yeah. I did mental health skill building, which is working with adults, and a lot of the adults were, working through addiction.
Can you describe the curriculum?
In terms of,
like, you said a lot of them were working through addiction and homelessness, right? Yeah. So when it comes to the curriculum, did you have for Monday, we are going to touch this subject, or this is the environment that we're trying to create for these adults?
So what it looked like, I probably saw them maybe once or twice a week, depending, because you had to get like a specific number of hours with them. And it was taking them to their meetings, NAAA. It was taking them to doctor's appointments, because some of them haven't been to doctors in years. It was connecting them to therapy. It was helping them look for housing. It was getting them in the shelter. Helping them get their rights back over their children. Anything that you could think of, pretty much that was what I was doing. I did crisis stabilization, and with that program, we worked with. So it was a 15-day program. Yeah. I was with my clients 8 hours a day, hitting the pavement. I mean, going to social security offices. Like I was saying, we looking for apartments. Because when they come into the crisis program, they're homeless. Yeah. So we're within that 15 days. My job is to make sure that my clients have somewhere to live. 15 days.
What happens if you don't find some place for them in 15 days?
We try to refer them to another program.
So it's the circle of life, but not in a positive way.
Not all the time. Yeah. That's the other side of it. I've had some success stories. And then I've had some stories where some people weren't always ready. Everybody, just how it goes. Skin folk not all skin folk is kin folk. When you're on the other side of choices and opportunities, not everybody wants you all up in their business. Yeah. They don't want you all up in their house. They think you're going to try to, call the people on them for their kids, They don't want you in their house. The period. They don't want you in their house. And we had to spend time in their house. It was helping them create systems for their kids, with their schoolwork and, chores and helping their moms around the house. All of that was, community cycle. And then I worked with children who had autism.
Wait. Yes. Before the children with autism, let's roll back to this moment right here. Did you ever have moments of being helpless? Yeah. Or feeling there has to be a better way?
All the time. To this day,